Hey guys, we're going to talk about the Steyr S9-A1 today. Good looking pistol. Steyr is a fairly unknown name. They make several different variations of this same design. They make a large frame, a mid-sized frame, a compact frame, and the subcompact. And this is the subcompact. This is the S9-A1 again. 9 indicating that it's the 9mm. They also make all 4 of those sizes in a 40 caliber version. I have several of these, but this is the only one I have in the subcompact. So we'll talk about some of the features in the box that it comes with. You get 2 of the MechTech magazines. These are 10-round magazines. They're very well made. They're metal. They're incredibly good magazines. And then you also get these keys. Yeah, you can see that pretty well. These keys, let me show you something cool here. On the Steyrs, they have right there, they have a little button, and what you can do with that is you put the key into that little spot, you push in and turn it, and now it's indented. Hopefully you can see that. But with the indent, you can now not pull the trigger at all. It's a built-in safety. You can rack the slide still, but you can't pull the trigger. So that way, if you wanted to lock out little fingers, you can go ahead and do that. And then to unlock it, insert the key, push in, and turn again, and it'll unlock. Now, these are amazing pistols. I shoot these in competition, and they are just smooth as can be. Slide, you know, it's like butter. This one I've got, you know, a lot of rounds through. It still has a few squeaks. I'm working out recoil spring and a few things like that, but yeah, they're awesome. The triggers on these, the triggers are one of the best I've ever felt in a factory pistol. The trigger is about a 4.5 pound pull on this one that I have, and it is absolutely smooth. Let me show you this here. There's very little movement. It has the pre-safety in the trigger like Glock does, so when you depress that, that is all the movement to fire. So again, that's it. So there's no pre-travel and there's no over-travel hardly. It is a very small amount of movement. That sound that you hear is just my big shop heater behind me. They're incredibly comfortable to hold. You can see the inset right here. It's got a huge beaver tail on it. Something all the Steyrs have is this big inset here with the massive beaver tail. This moves the grip farther forward underneath the gun, and also because of this, I'll show you with my hand here. A typical handgun, your hand is something like this shape. You've got this big hump right here, and that big hump is kind of pushing the gun back when it recoils. With the Steyrs, with that inset, it rolls your hand forward, and when it rolls your hand forward, this becomes flat, and that pushes the recoil back and not up. So I'll show you again what that looks like. So when you're holding, your hand is forward, and because of its forward position, and also because it's underneath half the slide, there's very little recoil. It's about like this. So amazing guns. You know, they're just gorgeous. So trigger reset on these, Let me see if I can get her to go. So trigger reset is right there. It's real positive, and because there's almost zero travel on the trigger, the reset is almost immediate when you let off the trigger. Go over to this side. This side, I don't know if you can tell, but you have a nice big slide release here, and the slide release is real easy to do with your hand. Lock it, so it's right there, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. So unlike Glock, which has just a tiny little setup, this is absolutely amazing, and it's in the perfect spot for your thumb. So let's see if I can show you. So in a typical set like this, it's right there, you can see it, and it's real easy to hit. Another thing about these is the sights. Steyr has an amazing sight system on their pistols. Let's see if we can get it here. You can see that rear sight and a little bit of the front sight there. Yeah, there you go. Now they're offset, so you can see easily. This is called a trapezoid sight system, and let's see. Okay, we can get it lined up there. So you've got a triangle in the front, and you've got that funky serration in the rear. Now, I have had some people say that they've had concerns about this snagging if they're carrying or something because you've got sharp points. Truth is that the outside of this is nice and smooth. You're not going to hang up on these. I've carried this and I've never had a problem with anything snagging. Same thing with the front sight. That front sight, it's fairly smooth. It's not real sharp, but there's nothing to snag on the front or back. It's real nice. These are just amazing pistols. Steyr's been around for a long time, since the 1800s, I believe. Everything that they do is based on ergonomics and functionality. These were originally designed for military and police use. They're still used for that to this day. And on my M40, the magazines still are stamped for military or law enforcement use only. These are imported to Steyr USA, which is down in Alabama, and these are made in Austria, just like Glocks are. One big defining thing about these also that eliminates recoil is something called a low bore axis. And what that is if you notice, the barrel is right here, where the rear of your hand is when you're gripping it. Let's see, I can move, there we go. Your hand is sitting almost behind the barrel. Now what that does is it also creates that same thing that I was talking about earlier, where it pushes the recoil back in your hand. It doesn't want to flip because there's really no weight above your hand per se. These slides, I have a Glock 21 that I took some pictures of. I might see if I can find them and interject him into this video sometime. But my Glock 21, the slide is nearly twice as high as these Steyrs. The Steyrs, the slide is so minimal, it's amazing. Again, it helps recoil back into your hand. So for a subcompact, I've fired a lot of subcompacts over the years, and the subcompacts tend to have a lot of muzzle blast, a lot of recoil, and because of it, a lot of people don't like to shoot them very often. Like I said earlier, this S9-A1 I compete with regularly, and I'm the only person on any of the groups that I compete in that is shooting a subcompact right now. And it's because I can compete just as well with a subcompact as I can with a full size. Steyr makes these incredibly accurate. Uh, 75 yards in a subcompact 9mm is not hard at all. I can hit an 10-inch plate. You know, it was a little bit out there for a while, but a lot of practice, and I've got this thing dialed in with those sights now, so I'm confident, you know, that I can regularly hit that 75-yard plate. You know, one of the great things that people like about Glocks, Glocks have a real easy takedown to them when you want to field strip them. I will go ahead and show you how that's done on this. This is also extremely easy. Actually, I find it a little bit more more user-friendly than the Glocks. So, from a standard position, that button again, where you've got your safety lock, if you press that button in, let's see if I can do it. So you press that button in, and there's a little lever right in front of it. Flip that lever down while you're pushing that button in, and your slide comes off. That's all it is. Your slide, you've got your recoil spring, you've got your barrel, and your main slide assembly. So that's all there is, and, you know, and then you've got the lower frame here. So again, reassembly is simply drop the barrel in, take your recoil spring, throw it in, take your frame, turn it around, or else that wouldn't work out too well. Slide it back, and as you pull it back, you'll automatically re-engage the lock, and you're ready to go. So, magazines, again, the MechTech magazines, the nice steel. In the subcompact, they have a real positive click to them. They sit nice and flush, so you don't have a big fingerprint sticking down like an extended mag on a lot of guns. You can for range time, or if you really wanted some high capacity, the M series mags will fit in the S series, so you can get a 17 round mag in a subcompact. When you do though, they stick down somewhere in like that neighborhood, which, you know, if you don't care about a little bit of printing, that's fine. You know, me personally, I've used the 17 round mags at the range, but I don't see any reason to for carrying. If that was something that I was going to do, I would go with the C series, which has the same barrel length but the longer grip, and so you can take the full-size mags in that version. You've got a real positive big mag release right there, so it's you know, it's easy to function because it's so big. You've got it right there. Let's see, I'll try and do this left-handed. I'm retarded left-handed. So you've got your mag release right here, and so yeah, I mean, everything is right where it should be. It's easy reach, it's big. You know, your mag release right here, you've got your slide release here. On this side, your takedown lever here. You've got your safety again, you know, the key, so you can lock it out. So if you've got family coming over and you don't want to put it away in a safe or something, you can just lock that out and no one can function the weapon. It's real safe. So size wise, it's comparable to compact Glock. You know, the full size M, or not the full size, but the larger M series, about yay long. It's another half or a little over half an inch longer barrel and a little longer grip. Um, Other than that, identical. Functions the same. Um, a little bit more weight to it because the slide's a little bit longer, but absolutely phenomenal guns. Another thing to mention is the way that the barrel slides down in the frame when you're firing. It's got more of a rifle-based system instead of the traditional system. So it's very, very reliable. It functions like a dream. I've got thousands of rounds through this, and there's no wear on the top of the port. You do have a visual inspection port there, so you can see if you have a round in the chamber. Just phenomenal guns. I can't believe these things, haven't become such a huge hit on the market. Everybody who's ever shot mine has immediately gone out and hunted them down and bought one. They're if you ever get a chance to try one, I definitely would highly recommend it. You will never look back. Now that I'm competing with Steyrs, I've got different variations, and every one of them has the same trigger style. Everything is the same between each one of them. It's just a difference in size or caliber. Steyr makes their guns in the 9mm and 40 calibers. They do not make a 45 or any other funky thing like 380 or whatever. They keep it simple, and it's because it's a law enforcement and military based firearm. Another interesting thing to note is when the slide goes back and you're essentially cocking the striker. Glocks, when you do that, it pre-primes the striker at about 20%, and then when you pull the trigger, you get the rest of that cocking and then the fire. With Steyr, it's about 75%, and that's how they have been able to get these down to where there's virtually no movement in the trigger, and they're light for a factory trigger. That's all the trigger that there is to this whole thing. I think between all the ones I have, they're between 4.5 and 5 pounds from the factory. So amazingly smooth as well. There's very little that you can't that you can argue with these in the trigger department. I've fired hundreds of pistols, and this by far is the best factory trigger that I've ever experienced. So again, the Steyr S9-A1, amazing pistol. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I really encourage you to at least go out, see if you can find somebody who's got one, try one out. Let the firearm speak for itself. But as far as safety, features, recoil, the benefits of them are amazing, and to top it all off, they're a head turner. So anyhow, I hope this helps you guys out with understanding Steyrs a little bit, since it's an unknown name. But yeah, anyhow, take care guys, and see you soon.